Hello. This is Dan Victor, for Dan Victor Does. This is Daily Thoughts. And one of the thoughts that I have is about frustration and speaking about what is going on right right now. So one of the things I guess I wanted to talk about is dealing with frustration and how I've been dealing with frustration because it's great when things are going your way, right? For instance, sometimes my streams go live and sometimes they don't. So I like to check it out. Because there's nothing more frustrating than to have a post go, to have a lot of great words that you've been very happy about, to have not had any sound on. So that when you are going and you go back to look at it where the sound is off or something happened, you've been you know you're just at a loss. So anyhow, I just wanted to take a look at that before I ended up getting into the focus of what it is. And frustration, I think, is a good topic to talk about because there's a lot of things that can be frustrating right now, in any day of your life, really. So one of the things that get frustrated with, is the fire alarm. I have to talk about this because not the fire alarm, the smoke detector. So the smoke detector is something that goes off and it beeps, and I hear it everywhere. I've been hearing it everywhere, and there's a lot of things that could annoy you. A fly, you know, um, the way water tastes. Something that you have to do, brushing your teeth. I go to brushing your teeth a lot because it's something I struggle with. Not that I don't brush my teeth. It's just something that I struggle with making myself do or want to do. And they're one of these things that you can do, and it takes just very little amount of time. So I guess there's two different types of frustrations. There's a frustration in which something that you're doing, and then something that's an outside source that is distracting you, or is getting to you. So there's the internal frustration and the external frustration, which ultimately is also internal, but it is an outside force that is frustrating, that is the source of the frustration, right? So this smoke detector going off, it's driving me mad. Like, I'm like, where the hell is it coming from? Is it coming from somebody's phone? Is it from my phone? Is it from another room? Is it from another apartment because I have windows open? Where the heck is it coming from? So I was just in the other room messing with it because I was like, I'd rather it be off and not working than beeping like that. You know, God forbid there's a fire. That's another thing. But my immediate need is to just stop it from beeping, the incessant beeping. I can't put it out of my mind. There are so many things that are like that. But it can shift from one thing to another. I have to say, depending on how long you're around something, or how long it's gone unattended or unresolved, the more I think it can annoy you, or annoy me in this case. Um, so there is, I guess, in just talking about it, there's a frustration in something that you notice that you don't do something about, especially if there's something that you can do that's in your power. For instance, water. Sometimes water tastes, I don't know, funky. People say, oh, well, water doesn't have a taste. I don't like the taste of water. Water does have does react to your taste buds in some way. So this is tap water. I usually just fill up an old water bottle, and, you know, so what is it that you can do about the taste of water? Well, I like it cold. Some people don't like it cold. They want it warm. Some people, it affects their teeth. So the taste of water has a couple different factors here. Okay, do you like it cold or warm? Okay, let's say you like it cold. When it's cold, it seems more refreshing, and the temperature is something that affects my taste, as opposed to the when it's warm, you can really have I guess, really catch the flavor of it. So something that's very hot or something that's very cold in temperature, I like temperature and I like texture, and taste can sometimes be an added bonus, at least for my palate, right? So now you have a couple different ways that you can address this to add a taste to, say, tap water. Well, say you could go and buy some water, but then you're spending money. And for me, it's like, well, why spend money when you have tap water that's perfectly fine? Oh, there are all these chemicals. Okay, all right. Fair enough. That is an issue for some people. For me, it doesn't really matter. Water is water. I obviously do not want to be drinking sewer water, but I feel like what I'm getting from the tap is fairly good. Some tap water is pretty bad. Uh, my uncle and aunt, they have a place near Chesapeake, and there's a lot of sulfur in the water, and it's not drinkable. So you can't really like it, and it's something that, if you're brushing your teeth or if you're taking a shower, you can really smell it, and it's nasty, and it's something that again, you can't get out of your head. So what I like to do for tap water is I take a lemon and I'll squeeze some in there. And I do this, and I have a bunch of different bottles. So what I'll do is to take a lemon, I'll cut up it at different slices, and then I'll fill them all up with tap water, and then I'll put them in the fridge because I like them cold. It feels like it's coming right out of the fridge. It feels fresh. Another thing to do is wash the bottles after you're done drinking them. So I stack them up, rinse them out with some hot water, and you can only do this so much time because bacteria will eventually build up, but they're disposable, so to speak. So I'm doing the environment actually pretty good by reusing these, right? So that's a bonus. But after a while, you're just sort of saying, well, okay, well, I feel like maybe I'm getting the residuals of plastic, or something's not tasting quite fresh anymore. So let me get rid of it because it's breaking down. And I'll buy a fresh, treat myself to a nice, fresh bottle of water. So this is something that it's just a little thing, but water is a big thing because you got to drink it. So it's one of the major food groups. You are mostly water. We need to drink water more than we need to eat food. It helps our mood. It keeps weight down. It keeps us healthy. Keeps our brain and our body healthy. It is just good all around. Excessive drinking of water hurt could hurt you, but you'd have to drink a whole hell of a lot of water. So they say, drink 8 ounces of water every day. Okay, this is just one aspect of health, but it can be annoying because you have to do it if it tastes bad. So people will say, oh, well, I don't want to drink water. I want to drink something that has flavor. So people will drink soda or maybe juice, something maybe that's an alternative. And I'm saying, look, some people like to drink liquor. I stopped drinking, so I don't do that. But to be honest, I never liked the taste of liquor to begin with. It was an acquired taste, and it certainly is. But then I find the only reason I really like drinking it is because it gave me a buzz, ultimately, right? I mean, come on, let's be honest. You can have an appreciation for wine or whiskey or gin or I hate gin. I hated gin always. Vodka, and any of these things. I remember having a vodka martini, and the idea of having it was much better than actually having it. Especially after the third or fourth one. They're very strong, but I liked a certain brand, and it's felt very fancy, and get in a certain glass, and you have somebody in a tux make it for you. All these really interesting things, right? So there is more that goes into taste than just just the ingredients. It's how you present it to yourself. And you're saying, well, how does this, like, I got to bring it back around to frustration, because that was sort of the thing that got me to where I was going. And I'm going to try to keep it short so that it's not a long diatribe, but a frustration can happen because you're not happy with something that you either can't do something about, or you can do something about, but you don't know how to do it, or you just won't do it for some reason. Improving the taste of something and understanding what you like about flavor, or what makes something that makes something special to you. What is a treat to you that is not an indulgence? I mean, maybe it is an indulgence, but indulging in it, in itself is not a bad thing. It's just overindulgence may be bad. Maybe you do like the taste of whiskey. Maybe you can honestly say, hey, it's not about getting drunk. I just want to taste the flavor. I like the way it bites, and I can understand that. I personally don't. I never liked it. Never liked it. It would actually numb my throat. But there is a process in which I, like with water, for instance, I sleep with water by my bedside. Okay, and it'll get warm over the course of the night. So eventually, that coolness that makes the flavor better for me is going to go away. But what keeps it nice and what actually has a little bit of sweetness to it is the lemon. And I don't like the rind. Here's another little tip about lemon: is some people they just cut the lemon up and they drop it into a big bowl of water, ice water, and then they'll serve it. But the thing I don't like about that is the same thing I don't like about is about it 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 the rind of the lemon will affect the taste as well. It's the same thing with tea bags. You leave a tea bag in too long, it starts to have a bitter flavor. The same way with the lime. I just want the juice. I don't want the rind. So that could be good for lemon meringue, not for this. So it's a subtlety. These subtleties we pay attention to, or I pay attention to, because they are the icing on the cake, and the icing is sometimes what makes a thing great or makes a thing fun. It's that little detail. It's getting that popcorn at the movie theaters with the extra butter. It's driving with the top down on a convertible because you can feel the maybe you need to put your hands outside the window to feel the breeze going down, or have your dog with you and love when your dog sticks their head out and has their tongue wagging. Little details like this, they're things that make life enjoyable. So these frustrations, we need to find ways to change them around, flip the script. The thing with the fire alarm is that, it is a necessity. It's something that I would, rather just pull the battery out. It's sort of like, instead of you're not being able to find a paper towel or something to wipe your hands off after you've washed them, so you wipe them on your shirt or your pants. It's that kind of a frustration, but like, oh, let's just get it done. And sometimes that's fine. You know what? I am a firm believer in wiping your hands on your pants. Is it the best situation? Are you the most sanitary? Probably not. But I don't. You know what? You got the job done. Your hands aren't covered in urine or poop or whatever. I'm sorry for the graphic image, but that's the truth, right? Or it doesn't have jelly or jam on it, or butter, or dirt, or whatever. And you've washed your hands, so the residual wetness is just water. Come back around to water. It's essential. It's essential to everything. It's essential to cake. It's essential to eggs. It's essential. Actually, that is a really great tip. Adding water to your eggs instead of milk makes the eggs very fluffy, because you won't burn the actual egg. As you're cooking the egg, the water evaporates off of the eggs so that you're able to cook it without burning it or singeing the eggs. So if you want really fluffy scrambled eggs, that's a good way to do it. These little subtleties make life exciting, because when you see things as a chore, they become mundane. They become, find whatever it is that makes you excited. And that frustration, it can help you deal with that frustration. When you realize it's not necessary to fix something right away, you can take some time. Then you realize, okay, well, shit, I don't have to fill up space. It's just like talking. I don't have to fill up space. I enjoy talking. I really do. And you might laugh at that because, oh, Dan, you just like hearing the sound of your voice. And there is a reason I'm wearing the headphones, so I can hear my voice, so I can hear how you might hear it instead of the way I hear it. That inner ear thing and all that. These are all little things that, when we get into what it is that we really like, those frustrations, sometimes we can put them on the shelf. Sometimes we've got to deal with them right away. Or we have to find ways in which to make those frustrations bearable. And sometimes you just have to write it out, because those frustrations are more than frustrations. They're suffering, or they're pain. And, if you've broken an arm or your face, whether it be a wall or an accident or otherwise, it's frustrating to have to heal and have time go by. It's frustrating when you're stuck in a bed and you've broken your leg and you just want it to be better so you can run again because you're prevented from doing that. So what is a way that you could change that around? What is a way that you could take that frustration and saying, I wish I wasn't this, I wish I was that, or I wish this wouldn't be this way, I wish the world would be different. I wish some of these bigger issues, I wish COVID didn't exist. I wish racism wasn't the way it is. I wish we could all live as one happy people. I wish there wasn't any violence or war. I wish people would treat one another with kindness and respect. What can you do about that? And the truth is that you can deal with it in the best way that you know how, and accept these things as they are. Fire alarm's going to go off. Water may taste funky if it's warm and from the tap. Breaking a leg takes time to heal. All of these things are about acceptance. And once we accept them and say, okay, well, there isn't anything in our power that we can do to fix them, we can do things to either make them more bearable, to take it and maybe make it to our advantage. Maybe we can learn something from it, because honestly, that is what frustration is teaching us. It's giving us a sign. There's a sign that we need to address something. And what I'd suggest is, the next time you find yourself frustrated, stop what you're doing. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Then maybe go to the bathroom, wash your hands, and get a drink of water. Wipe them on your pants and laugh because you're wiping them on your pants. And I'm not saying forget about it, but give your mind a break. Give yourself a break. Be nice. Be nice to yourself. And then maybe you won't be so angry or so frustrated. Maybe the frustration is on a deeper level about something that you need to deal with that you're not dealing with, or that you're frustrated because you've been dealing with it and it's just wearing you down. Just remember that there are things about this life that are fun. There is icing on the cake. There are things that make it worthwhile. So find those little details in life that make it worthwhile. No matter how difficult a situation, there's something that you can extract from it that's going to be meaningful for you. So find the meaning. I'm looking for the meaning. I'm looking for the meaning in the frustration of the damn the damn smoke detector. Maybe it needs to be there so that there's a fire, flames start coming out. I'll know because I'm asleep and I'm a heavy sleeper, Anyhow, I'd like to conclude with this, and I hope you find yourselves having a great Friday, free of frustration, and finding the things that make your life the icing on the cake. This is Dan Victor for Dan Victor Does, and this has been Daily Thoughts. Have a great weekend. Bye.